So today is August 10th, and I just wanted to do a quick garden tour slash update. It's been almost 3 weeks since my last one. It's been raining pretty much non-stop here, so I haven't been able to get out to film anything. Uh, just a few things of me planting and stuff, but no real tours. The garden, as you'll see, has completely filled in. Some beds are doing amazing, some beds haven't changed, and some beds are almost dead. Um, anyway, we'll just walk through, check it out. There's those beautiful flowers. There are so many weeds mixed in with everything now. It's going to take me quite a while to get all them pulled. But look at this bean trellis. Isn't it glorious? It's almost completely filled in. I'm just loving it. And these poor flowers, they've been fertilized, but they're getting really scraggly, so I think I'm gonna have to trim them up just to get another flush out of them. But look at this trellis. It's so magical at night with the lights too. So beautiful. And you can see I have hundreds of beans to be picked. We've already picked so many, but they just keep coming. These poor flowers are pretty scraggly as well. And these beautiful tomatoes that I was in love with all have diseases and not doing so well. These are my little micro dwarfs. After some research, I found out that they get disease pretty easily because their foliage is so close together and tight. And this has just been a horrible year for us. Yeah, let's go this way. Show you these beds. As you can see, I have yet to pull the garlic. I thought it would be ready last week, but I don't have that much die off on the bottom. I'm waiting for 3 or 4 leaves to die back, and so far it's only been like 1 to 2 leaves. I really want to give them a chance to grow as much as possible, but I also want to plant something else in the bed. uh, Carrots, parsnips, and beets in this bed are just ticking along. See this golden beet in here. Looking very beautiful. I have been so busy. I have not had a chance to start canning yet. So that's why these beets are still in here. These onions bulbed up a bit, but not as much as I had hoped. We've been eating the carrots fresh, just kind of coming out and picking them. But these beets starting to get pretty big. Very nice. I like to can slices, so I like the cylindrical beets better than the big round ones. And the red onions, once I gave them a haircut, they started to grow better because they were just so tangled and falling over. Nothing was really happening with them. They were kind of stalled. More beets and the other garlic bed. Like I said, I haven't had as much dieback as I was hoping for. I picked a few. Some are big, some are small, so I'm kind of waiting. But look at this bean trellis. Isn't it just beautiful? And the hops have taken over my house. I'm just loving it. So here's where some of our dying beds are happening. These tomatoes are going to be pulled. I don't know if I'm going to wait for them to ripen or not. They're just so sick. And these two that weren't actually micro plants keep falling over. I put a cage around them, but it's not really working. We'll see. The wind is really starting to pick up. I might have to cut this garden tour short if the rain actually hits. I just have a little break right now, so I figured I'd do the tour. Here's those peppers that were planted in the front bed. This is the Medusa. They're so pretty. This one is the purple tiger jalapeno. Gorgeous. This is a paprika pepper. A large red cherry. Another purple tiger jalapeno. So beautiful. Not seeing much on these ones. My sugar rush is starting to put some on. They're not looking too bad. They're getting eaten by slugs, but besides that, I think they're doing fairly well. But these tomatoes are not doing well. They have so much blight on them. I just don't know if they're going to make it. I don't know if they're going to last long enough to actually ripen. You can see I've had to pull off so much of the foliage. It was just like they're just dying. And these tomatoes are only tiny. I don't know if they're going to be able to grow anymore. Some of the ones on the bottom are a bit bigger, but not nearly as big as they should be for a beefsteak. Now, I gave these plants 2 square feet. That is double what I've ever given a tomato plant before, but I don't think it was enough. Here's one of the probably bigger ones, and that's still not very big for a beefsteak. As you can kind of see, they're not doing too hot. Some more tomatoes inside. I hope they'll stick around for another couple weeks to ripen. And then once these start to ripen, I'm going to pull these tomatoes out. Because these are just determinate tomatoes. So once this flush ripens, that's it. They don't do any more. And then I'm going to put some fall crops in this bed, I believe. Once these come out. Beside it here is one of the squash beds. It's still kicking, but there's not a whole lot of fruit, or I just can't find them in here. It's just been raining so much that the flowers just keep getting knocked off. A couple of them have started to go up the bean trellis, so maybe we'll get some up there. Hopefully they're just hiding and I can't see them. They're going up the melon trellis as well. With all this rain, it's so hard. The plants are just not doing great. This melon trellis I thought would be overgrown by now, and they're so stunted. I just don't know if we're gonna get any. There's the other side. It has more squash than melons on it. Plants, that is. I don't think it has any fruit. The watermelons, on the other hand, seem to really be liking all this wet weather. I wish it was warmer for them, but they're kind of sprawling out, doing their thing. There's a few in here that I've seen. This cute little one. And there's another one over here. Let's see. Another cute little one. But I don't know how many are actually in the bed. I'm hoping a few. As you can see, they're kind of crawling out of the bed. I'm just letting them. And we'll look at the tomatoes in this bed. This was my variegated Cherokee purple plant. And it put off a lot of fruit at first, which was good because it's now dead. It's just so much rain, so much humidity, it just can't keep up. I'm hoping these will ripen. This plant here, this is my rose plant, it could be. It's one of the healthier ones. But these tomatoes are supposed to be, fairly large, and they're still quite small. Let's see, what variety is this? Oh, no, it's black from Tula. So these are supposed to ripen to a dark purple, but they don't look like they are. Now these ones are beautiful, but so small, and I think that's all we're going to get from this plant. There's a few in here. Oh, wait. Look what's hidden. I don't know if I can get to it. That one's a nice size. So maybe we'll be surprised when these start to ripen what I actually get. But we're probably only going to get one flush from these. I'm usually harvesting tomatoes into October. This year, it's not even the middle of August, and they're already dying. So I don't know what we're going to do this year. Oh, see what's in there. A few, but they're only small. This black pineapple is looking pretty good. But the plant itself, you can see, is diseased. Not really going to go much further. Step over to this bed. I think these are my Dr. Weitches, I don't know how you pronounce it. Dr. Weitches, yellow maybe. Last year, these were like 1-pounders, and this year they're so small. My pineapple, Kellogg's breakfast. I'm worried it's going to be a disappointing tomato here because I love my tomatoes. Oh, and look at this. Blossom and rot. I'll have to take that one off and feed that to the chickens. But again, they're not very productive, they're not very tall, and they're all getting so diseased. Makes me very sad. Come over to this bed. This was the brassica bed with all the broccolis, and we pulled all that out and planted our fall cabbage. It's all in netting. I did leave the dinosaur kale in this bed just because they're much smaller. The other kales were huge. I just have them covered because of the caterpillars that get on them. There was some on them. I had to get in and get them off. That's why they have holes, but hopefully I got them all. See the tomatoes? There's a few ripening on that side. Gotta skip this bed. These are my bush squash. It's delicata and butternut, maybe? I'm not quite sure anymore. I don't see any fruit in there either. All the flowers have been just dropping. The rain comes down so hard, it just tears everything apart. So kind of disheartening, but at least we still have a garden. A lot of people in Nova Scotia have lost all their gardens to flooding. There's some of the cucumbers. This one's finally starting to grow now that I got rid of the rest of the crops in there. There's a nice slicer. I have so many cucumbers in the house right now that need processing. I can't pick anymore at the moment. But they're looking good. These are nice slicers. And these are some pickling that are getting pretty big, but they're starting to go over the top. Here's the tomatoes on this side of the squash bed. This is probably one of my biggest tomatoes I have. That's the rose tomato. I knew the rose was pretty big. But again, the plants are not doing very well. That's going to be the only flush of tomatoes we get, I'm sure. This one's called Delicious. These have some nice big ones on them too. I think a couple of these might be hybrid tomatoes. That's why they're performing better. Most of my heirlooms are not doing great. Here's the zucchini bed. I have harvested so many zucchinis out of here. It's been insane. This big plant has crawled out of the bed, is now growing down onto the ground. This one's doing the same. Oh, we got some more zucchinis set. Have to pick them in a couple days. The thing with zucchinis is if you let it go, you're tiny and then all of a sudden they're the size of babies. I actually prefer them larger because I grate all my zucchini, put it in bags and freeze it, and then pull them out over the winter to add into all kinds of food. Here's that other broccoli bed that got all ripped out and more cabbages planted. As you can see, those caterpillars put holes in all my plants. Buggers. I have to come out and check on them because it's just been so wet. There's also slugs still getting my plants, which is so disheartening. And we'll have a look at these tomatoes. These are my paste tomatoes. I don't do a lot of them, and I'm not even sure how many I'm going to do next year because they never seem to do well. This one has blossom end rot. Most of those do, and they're just dying off. They're not really producing much. This is my speckled Roman, and it's not doing great either. Look at this. They just don't like my weather. This is Pink Fang. They look okay, but the plant is like, I don't know, maybe 3 feet tall. This is a Ukrainian purple. These are fairly nice, but it gets so diseased, just like the rest, I guess. This plant I don't think even has a tomato on it. Oh, wait. There, it has a tomato. Does this one? One measly little tomato. That's pretty sad. Oh, I hear the thunder. Look, beautiful trellis. Okay, we better hurry this up because I don't want to get soaked. Let's go through the cucumbers. I posted a video not long ago of me planting the rest of this bed. And I think they're all doing really well. They've greened up, they've grown quite a few inches. They're starting to set flowers. So I'm hopeful for a harvest. They look good, I think. And then the tomatillos behind them are starting to grow. Let's see. I'm excited for these. These are a yellow tomatillo, so they're a lot more sweet than your typical green ones. The green ones most people make, what is it, verde with them. But I'm not sure what to do with the yellow ones. I think they'd be really good in salsa. And you know me and salsa, so we'll see. And look at the size of these Nutter Butters. I'm hoping these got pollinated. As soon as the flowers opened, it rained. So I honestly don't know if they did or not. Some of these lower ones I came by after the rain and hand pollinated. Oops, sorry. But I think it might have been too late. I'm not sure. They don't really seem like they're getting that much bigger. That was a couple days ago, and I don't know. What do you think? You think they got pollinated? I really hope so. There's more up that way. I don't know if you can tell just how big this bed is and how high it goes. It just goes up and up and up, and they reach the top. Some of them. These poles are 10 feet. So I think this is pretty tall. The beds are 18 inches tall? No, 24 inches tall. That one's made it to the top. I'm actually getting nervous because can you see where that one let go? The netting. The heavier this gets, the more it starts cracking, and I'm just terrified one of these times it's gonna come falling down. And it's too high for me to get up there and fix. Look, that's the first bee I've seen. Oh, I hope more come. There's been no pollinators this year. I don't know. Strange, strange year. All right, here is some more of the tomatoes. These ones aren't doing half bad over on this side. We've got some Hungarian paste indigo apples, Italian heirlooms, pink oxheart. This is an Italian heirloom. Hungarian paste. They're pretty big. So I'm hoping with all the tomatoes from the garden, we'll be able to get at least one good batch of salsa made. This plant needs to be wrapped. Keeps falling over. And this is just the backside of one of the brassica beds. And here's the last tomatoes. Actually, look at this cucumber. I believe this is from the cucumber beetle. I thought that once they were fully grown, the plants would be fine, but this keeps happening. And that's the only thing I can think of because we still have those buggers. Can't seem to get rid of them. So here's the last of the tomatoes. They are just as diseased as the rest of them. Like I said, it's been a really disappointing tomato season. We've just had so much rain. It's just been crazy. They're just not sizing up like they normally would. Oh, look what I spot. Zucchini that hasn't been harvested. If I wait till tomorrow, that will be double the size. Any more in here? Lots of flowers. All right, let's go look at the other tomatoes right quick. Like I said, the tomatoes are not doing well, and it's the same over here. I know these aren't doing well because they are way too close together. This is my first time doing a Florida weave, and these guys are only a foot apart. Next year, if I try this again, they will be at least 2 feet apart. But I'm not even hardly getting tomatoes on these at all. Just these last few days, it's put out some on the top. But look at these. These are so small, and these aren't the cherries. Here's the cherries. Can I get through this? These are more cherry tomatoes. One lone pepper. Oh, pepper. Tomato. Jeez. You know you're tired when. More cherries. Nothing's ripening though. Everything's just diseased. I don't know. Like I said, it's only the middle of August and everything looks like it's going to die. I've never had this much trouble with my garden before. These little tomatoes are actually starting to grow and don't look too bad. Maybe we might get some fruit off of them after all. Who knows? This cucumber plant is looking kind of sickly, but has produced quite a few cucumbers. We've been eating fresh off of this one. I like this one. It's the Bait Alpha. So there's no spines on the cucumber, so it's actually really nice for eating. And this tomato bed is just as diseased as the rest of them. The top of the foliage looks pretty good on these, but the bottom, not so much. There is fruit in there, but again, they're all so tiny. I don't know this year what's up, but you can see in there. Not looking great. These peppers are actually looking really nice. They were supposed to be put in the greenhouse, but you know, no time, didn't happen. So they're still out here, but they're putting on fruit. They're looking nice. Nice and strong because they're out in the wind. Some more peppers. These ones look good. They're filling out really nice. Now I can always put these in the greenhouse when it starts to get cooler, so they'll give me an actual harvest. I just wanted to show them to you right quick. Let's go run into the greenhouse and I'll show you the growth in there. Welcome to the greenhouse. It's absolutely crazy. These haven't been rained on, obviously, so they are doing so much better. They are huge, they are green and beautiful and tall. They're over 6 feet, some of them. I am finally seeing some fruit. I think it's just all hidden. Once they start to blush, I'll be able to find them easier. But for the most part, they're looking really nice in here. I have 2 fans running, so everything gets kind of moved around so they'll pollinate, and I come and shake them too. Here's my peppers down the middle. They're so big. These are more of my sugar rush. And the poor plants back there on the table, all I do is spray them with the hose now because it's a tight squeeze and I don't want to walk through any spider webs. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with those plants back there. And some of these taller plants are getting this on their leaves. I'm not sure what it is. I'll have to look it up. If anyone knows, you want to put it in the comments. I appreciate it. Anywho, I'm going to let you go now. The rain's about to start. I got to get in the house. And of course, we have soccer again this evening. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me for my little garden update tour. Talk to you soon. Bye.